Alright, everyone. So, obviously, a couple minutes ago, we lost to the 49ers by a score of 36-9. I don't have a lot of energy, but I will express my thoughts and things. I'm not going to have it where it's chronological order with the notes from first to fourth. I'm going to do a stat side a little bit as well, even though, a lot of things come from the eye test. So, one of the first drives, Martinez got a sack, which was good. We gave him a field goal. One of the first drives the Giants made either was the first one, I'm pretty sure, or it might have been, I'm pretty sure it was the first one, actually, yeah. First drive Giants have, Jones tries some trickery, Ingram doesn't fucking catch the ball, and it is 49ers football. Mixed results when it came to covering Jordan Reed. He went out with an ankle and a knee injury. Darnay Holmes and Logan Ryan had their fair share of him, but I would say Ryan did better of a job than Darnay Holmes. He did not have a good game. I'll get to that in a little bit. Gold missed a kick on one of the tries, and it was still, I believe, like 6-3, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to go watch the game probably tomorrow and then review my thoughts on that. Giants took advantage of the 49er penalties, made it a 6-6 game, but still no touchdown, which is very pissed off. And this is the second game in a row where the Giants did not score a touchdown in the first half, let alone in the first quarter as well. Incoming drive, Leonard Williams got a sack and a couple big run stops. Of course, it was like third down and like 15 or third and 13, something like that. It was third and long, and Darnay Holmes was hit with an illegal contact penalty. Doesn't need to happen. That does not need to happen. He wasn't going to get the first down anyway. I forget who caught the ball. It may have been Reed. It may have been Trent Taylor. But he did not have to commit that penalty. He did not. And I know I have lack of better words here, but there was no need for that penalty because he was so short of the line to gain. As I said, I'm not going to go chronologically. This is where it's going to get a little out of order. This was going towards the third and the fourth quarter. 4th and 1, what do? We QB sneak it when literally the 49ers defense is prepared for a QB sneak. You literally saw the linebackers, going up near the defensive lineman, lining up and ready for a QB sneak. Jason Garrett, what the fuck are you thinking there? I don't know if it was you or someone else, but it's probably you to think, okay, let's QB sneak it. That was like the time when we knocked the football out of Dalvin Cook's hands last year, and we were at the 1-yard line, and Pat Shurmur decided, okay, let's run the football, and we got a safety. Really, the Vikings did, but anyway. Defense absolutely gave up in the second half. I'm going to alleviate to that in a little bit. Yiadom is hot garbage. They tried hiding him in the first half. It was like 1 or 2 receptions. Couldn't do anything in the second half as Brandon Ayuk kept getting, receptions and kept exposing the Giants secondary for what it is. Devontae Downs, I don't know what his, role is in this defense. I'm not all, I know about football and everything. I'm not all football savvy. And, I try to know the best as possible. But, he's really hasn't perfected or at least done well, for lack of better words, in the snaps he's given. And it just continues to show. And, I'm going to keep making my point. How bad was Connolly? How injured was Connolly to where he didn't fit the system? I mean, come on now. Seriously. Cameron Fleming gave up a sack. Andrew Thomas left towards the end of the game, which is not good. As I mentioned before, Giants pushed Robbie Gould to miss a kick. Bradbury, he was very solid in the first half. He gave up about 2 to 3 receptions to Kendrick Bourne, and he also recorded a missed tackle that Bourne kept going down the sideline, and that wasn't good. I'm tired of seeing Dion Lewis in the backfield next week. It better be mostly Freeman. I know there's running back by committee stuff. I just don't like seeing Lewis in the backfield. The offensive line, again, could not run block. Just couldn't get it done. Gave up 2 sacks, 1, I forget who the other one was, but Deion Jordan got 1, meaning he was I'm pretty sure he was a draft bust for the Raiders or the Dolphins. I'm pretty sure it was for the Dolphins, though. Don't quote me on that. Let's go to the stats side of things. Jones passed for 179 yards and interception. I hate the people right now that really think it was his fault for Ingram's, fumble. I like Urinating Tree. I think he's funny, but, he was clowning, basically saying, oh, Daniel Jones is basically the Jameis Winston when it comes to interceptions, turnovers like that. You know what, bro? Okay, he threw an interception, but the fumble was literally not his fault. If you watch the game, and I'm not going to turn on any sports shows tomorrow unless it's the Michael K show, probably, even though he'll probably rip the Giants a new asshole. And I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but everyone's going to say, oh, Giants are the worst team in the league, blah, blah, blah. They're not the best team in the league. They're probably down bottom near the power rankings starting for next week. We'll see where that goes. Jones was the leading rusher, 4 attempts, 49 yards. Freeman, 5 attempts, 10 yards. And, he showed on these gritty runs that he could go out there, and even when the offensive line wasn't run blocking, goes out there and does his job, definitely. Giants allowed 3 rushing touchdowns, even though they held the 49ers running backs to like under 30 yards each, except for McKinnon. I'm pretty sure he had something like 38. Still the touchdowns. Brandon Ayuk being one of them. I think it was an end around, yeah. They faked it, and they gave it to Ayuk, and the defense totally fell for it. They were totally faked out, and I was so mad on that play. I was so mad because they gave up. It's not like they tried and they started running as fast as they can to get Ayuk. That didn't happen. They fell for it, and they're like, oops, get him next time, fellas. Unbelievable. Nick Mullins, 343 passing yards and 1 touchdown. I've said this, and I'll say it again. Last year, one of the problems was when the offense couldn't get it done, they couldn't produce, the defense gave up more points and yards. That's what happened here. Because look at the final score, 36-9. You could not be watching the game, but you'll be saying, hey, were the Giants ever in the game at all? Yeah, for like maybe the first, I don't know how many minutes. Because it seemed at halftime that they were partially in the game and then coming back out. First of all, again, there's no momentum in this game. There is absolutely no momentum. There was no momentum from the Bears game. There's no momentum from that going into this game because we didn't show up at all. We did not show up at all. And that has to be addressed in practice, seriously. Like, I don't know where to start. I'm going to get to that at the end. Slayton was the leading receiver, 3 receptions, 53 yards. Fumbled on his last reception. I'm not really going to get into that a lot, but shouldn't happen. Even it's in garbage time, and they just kneeled out the game. Giants got 2 sacks, Martinez and Williams. Martinez, Leonard Williams, Dexter Lawrence, and James Bradbury. If I'm missing anyone, but those are the main players that actually play on this defense. Everyone else just doesn't show up. And Jabril Peppers left the game early with an ankle injury, I believe. We'll see how he's doing. Expect the postgame for All New York Sports. I'm going to be posting it on my Big Blue in the Bronx account from the article that I wrote, or in the process of 3 turnovers. Ingram dropped the end around. Jones the pick to Fred Warner, which was incredibly stupid because it wasn't Ingram's fault there. It was more like he threw and Warner just said, okay, he's looking in my area, I'm going to pick it off. Then Slayton fumble. Time of possession was totally uneven. 49ers, 39-44. New York Giants, 2016. That has to tell you something. For San Francisco, and going back to the topic we talked about, and many people have talked about, Giants cannot rush 3 on 3rd down. They didn't do that a lot this week. Did it help? Absolutely not. The San Francisco 49ers were 8 for 12 on 3rd downs. I'm not saying every play on 3rd down was a run or a pass, but that tells you something of what the defense is doing wrong. And, this man coverage, I don't know. Because they're trying to enforce a scheme where it's, so DB infested and, everything and, man coverage based and blitzes. You know what? 2 points I have to bring up before, I make my final assessments. And this is part of my final assessments, I should say that. the Giants should have really went out and got a cornerback too. Trading for Yiadom was probably one of the most underlooked bad moves of Gettleman's term. Right now as it looks. You're constantly in a defense or pushing your defense to hide cornerback 2. Let's be honest. They are pushing to hide Ballantyne if he starts. They're pushing to hide Yiadom if he starts. I don't think a 7th round pick is worth that. I think you could get better out of a 7th round pick, to be honest. But Yiadom, him being a total give up for the Broncos, they wanted to trade him. Giants took him off their hands, and it's turned a disaster so far. I get it's a young team. I get it. But, how much did Ross Cockrell want? Let's be honest there. How much did he actually want? And now he's bargaining with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to go on their practice squad. Let's break that down. Number 2, and I'm going to get to something else because I saw this from unnamed NFL source who really reports for the Giants. I don't know who it is, but they seem to tell the truth a lot. But going back to what I said earlier about Devontae Downs, how bad or how injured was Ryan Connolly? I know a lot of Giant fans are going to be like, this defense, doesn't matter about Connolly. He's with the Vikings now. How bad or how misfitted was he? How injured was he that he couldn't do better than what Devontae Downs is doing right now? I get it. A lot of one inside linebacker formations. Going back to another play, too. I don't understand, Kyle Nelson, I think he's the long snapper of the 49ers, right? Snaps it. Bad snap. They try to go out and, throw it. This is the first time. Try to go out and throw it to maybe someone like Ross Dwelly, the tight end, who actually had a big day against the Giants. Lorenzo Carter tackles, I think it was Wisnowski. Face mask. What are you doing, bro? Face mask on the placeholder. To make my final assessments, going back to what I was saying about unnamed source, he said Steve Tisch is heavily pissed right now, and basically that Dave Gettleman's days are numbered. I'm not going to be as defensive as I was about Gettleman last week. We need to see improvement, and everything just seemed this week like it was 2019 again. 2018 was a different year, but 2019 is basically this year for the Giants again. And it needs to really step up, especially with a coach like Joe Judge and, hard-nosed football and, basically all that. And Vince Rapisardi, he tweeted, and I said, yeah, so true. Giants definitely, on defense, gave up in the second half. That is not acceptable. That is not acceptable. I don't care if they, Joe Judge says, oh, they didn't give up. I don't care if Blake Martinez says they didn't give up. I don't care if Isaac Yiadom says they didn't give up. They gave up. Because, I'm not understanding, I'm not saying here that it was an easy job because Jason Garrett could not play call for shit. But, what are you doing with the Jeff Wilson touchdown? What are you doing with the Jerick McKinnon reception that was all the way downfield? What are you doing with the Ayuk touchdown? And going back to the thing about, I'm not so defensive about Gettleman as I was last week, and I'm not going to be really defensive this week. I'm not. Because cornerback 2 and inside linebacker 2. I would like David Mayo back, please. It's going to be hard to actually defend him this week on the podcast. It really is. I got an announcement coming later on Twitter, but that's, not right now. As the Jets, give up a touchdown to Mo Alley Cox. They actually look better than the Giants right now, I'm not going to lie, but whatever. And, one thing I will say, Steve Tisch is pissed now. Steve Tisch is pissed right now. Where have you been? You've been directing movies in Hollywood. Now you want to be involved? That's my problem. And don't say, oh, you're just defending Gettleman. No. Both are in the wrong. Gettleman, you should have went after cornerback 2. Tisch, you should have stayed in the moment and, actually done evaluations. I don't know. And we face the Rams next week. before I get to the Rams thing, I must say, I didn't expect this to be a blowout. I did not. I didn't have hope in the Giants winning because, this is the Giant way of doing things. But why is it so distant? Why is the score so distant? Why is the play so distant from what it should be? And we're facing Aaron Donald next week, so there's no easy path to do that. And I have the Giants losing next week, so the only real opportunities we're going to get is, probably the Redskins week 6. I don't know if they lost to the Browns. I don't know. I would have to check. Haskins threw, I think, 2 interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. And, Dallas week 5, they're going to totally cream us. Somehow, some way. I don't know. But that's what I have to say. Thank you guys for watching this video. I know I don't have a lot of energy right now, probably because of the game. And many people feel the same like I do. Thank you guys, and see you on Tuesday. One thing I forgot to add, and I'm just going to add it in right now. Someone please get another safety. Please, 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 Dave Gettleman, get another safety. I don't care if you grab it out of your ass, get a safety off the practice squad, get Sean Chandler, get a safety off the, free agent market. I don't know. But get a safety. Stop putting Nate Ebner in as a fucking safety or as defensive back, Patrick Graham. I get we're limited, as far as safety goes because McKinney's on IR and Jabril Peppers got injured. We don't know what his story is. But stop. I get this whole, play players to their strengths. Play Ebner to his strength. Special teams. Not on the field on a defensive play. Multiple defensive plays. I think he had like 5 total snaps before coming into the season. He had 5 snaps total with New England. So that's got to tell you something. But definitely moving forward, you have to get another safety. You can't just be sitting there playing Nate Ebner as a defensive back or as a safety. I'm sorry. I'm all for giving players opportunities, but it can't happen that way. It's like playing Matt Slater at wide receiver. At least Michael Thomas, the core special teamer, he could play safety on occasion. He wasn't that horrible. But anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you on Tuesday.